What's up, everybody? Thank you for checking out this episode of Chewin' the Rag. Before we get started, just a couple of cool, quick announcements. First and foremost, at ChewinTheRag.com, same place where you find all of our platform links, social media, email for contact, and the gaming channel. There's now a section for merch. So if you click the merch link, it'll bring you to our web store where we have hoodies, t-shirts, water bottles, mugs, stickers, magnets, literally anything you could think of, we probably have it there. So be sure to go to chewintherag.com to pick up a piece of merch and make sure to like, rate, share, and subscribe on any of those platform links that you listen to us. It helps myself out, and more than that, it helps these guys out that I bring in that I think have cool things to promote. The more eyes on me, the more eyes on them, and it kind of helps the whole community, which is what this is really all about. Second, W, W Energy, good clean energy. Drink it every morning. I wear their merch. I have their hat on right now as we speak. I'm using their mouse pad. I highly support W. It's kind of helped me get away from coffee a little bit. I drink my W between like 6:30, 7 a.m. and I'm good until late afternoon, whereas I was drinking multiple cups of coffee a day. So W.GG and use promo code Chewin at checkout to get yourself some good, clean energy. Again, that's W.GG, promo code Chewin, no G, Chewin, Chewin at checkout. And one last thing, I am doing one more comedy show. I said I wouldn't, but I'm doing one more. Cairo, New York. It is September 24th, and it will be at the Old Factory Brewing Co. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, all proceeds go to benefit hospice. So one more show. This is it. Not doing another one. Old Factory Brewing Co. in Cairo, New York, and that's a few months from now, September 24th. Thank you guys, and be sure to go into the description of this video if while we are rather talking about charity. Donate money to help the kids in all my videos, or Spotify, all the descriptions wherever you're listening. There's a GoFundMe link. Donate some money, help the kids. They also have an event early September, and I believe if you click the GoFundMe, it goes into that a little bit more. So come support those guys, support myself later that month to benefit hospice. And thank you guys again for checking out this episode. We are live. Welcome back to Chewin' the Rag, everybody. My guest today is the owner and founder of Loco Fingerboards, my man John. How you doing, John?
Great, yourself?
Not too bad. It's super white. What's it said local instead of loco? Dad's Puerto Rican and I can't say loco.
It happens, man. It's a hard word to say sometimes. It's pretty darn
So
close.
yeah, literally. So we found each other through a mutual. I had one of your writers on the podcast.
Yeah, which when he was on your show, he was we were in talks of him being a writer at the time, and now he became official writer. I think when he recorded your episode, we were talking, and by the time it came out, he was officially a writer for me.
Oh, okay. So he was just lying. That's fine. That's cool,
No,
Dave.
no, it wasn't live. I'm pretty like I have a bad memory, but I'm pretty sure like we were in talk. Like I haven't posted the promo yet. I believe when you recorded it.
Okay. No, I'm just kidding. Dave's a great guy. I just have to bust. If I get a chance to bust his balls, I'm gonna do it. But he's such a good dude.
Right.
But
bust everyone else's balls. You gotta bust his.
So exactly. He can't. You don't get a pass just for being a great guy. I'm sorry, Dave. So
no, trust me. I don't mean to cut you off, but in the fingerboard world, like if you're not doing something right, he's a trick purist. He'll let you know if you're doing the trick wrong. So
yeah, no, I noticed that this weekend when you're doing you do your weekend contests and everything.
Yeah,
and he's quick to be like, it's front side, that's back side, you're wrong. And like he does it in a way where it's like, no, I'm just doing this because I want you to be better. And like that's how it should be.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
So explain. So you do I notice it's like every weekend just about you're doing something. every so
Yeah.
often.
Well, I just started the Loco challenge, like I guess a month ago, because I think we're on the fourth. This was the fourth week we just did, and like I've been doing, the fingerboard stuff for a while, but like I've been wanting to like think of a way to like get people to interact with each other because like um before like I really started growing, it was because I wasn't interacting with people and like shout out to Cold Crew. He was one of the first people that like really interacted with me with the fingerboard world, and um, like he kind of helped push me past my comfort level socially. Like I was, because like in the kind of world I grew up in, it was kind of like bad to like self promote
Yeah.
and that kind of stuff. So like I was so nervous about like, hey, check out my stuff I'm making. I want you guys to buy it and check it out and tell me what you think. So I was nervous to do that, and he pushed me to do it. And so um like I wanted to do that because he pushed me to become something bigger than I could ever think of. So like I thought of the trick challenge. It's kind of like I grew up skateboarding, so one of the things that helped other skaters like get past a certain point in their what do you call it, like skill talent tree, is by playing a game of skate.
Yep.
And it's I do a trick, you do a trick, you copy my trick. If you don't if you don't copy it, you get a letter. It's like basketball or
Right.
what is that?
Horse. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. So like I wanted to kind of incorporate that with fingerboarding and like Instagram. And so I thought of, a weekend challenge, give people like 3 days to copy somebody's trick. And so far it's been great because like the people that have reached out to me, they're like, holy crap, like I can't get this trick. Can you help me?
Yeah.
And that's the kind of the point of it, is like to try to help people get help.
Yeah, no, and I see it like you would think I am like this huge fingerboarder just by my Instagram because that community. Like after Dave's episode, obviously there's you, but then you just go through my followers and it's like FB, FB, FB. And it's like, I mean, I appreciate it for sure. I'm not gonna sit here and say don't follow me. You guys are all great. But it's just so
Yeah.
funny because that community, like you guys all did kind of just pack and come over here. You could see the support within the
Oh, it's
community. And
huge.
skateboarding, especially with skate, like that's I grew up skateboarding as well, so I understand skate. You do want to kind of one up, but you want to
Yeah,
make it friendly. like,
exactly.
like, oh, dude, you got me with a tray. I can't get this, and it's like, all right, I'll try to show you. That I
Yeah.
would be the one saying I can't get this. By the way, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you I'm the one
Yeah.
showing people.
Yeah. One of my favorite things about skateboarding was, hey, try this trick with me.
Yeah,
Try this gap with me. Try this line with me.
yeah,
That kind of stuff.
and that
It was
sense of
always fun.
community, yeah, and that sense of community like you said, I was in a band and I tried like an apparel company and then obviously comedy. And I also you feel like you're annoying people when you're like, oh,
Yes.
come to
Yeah.
the show, buy this, do
Dude,
this. And like
trust me.
I still feel weird when people are like, how's the podcast? And I'm like, what? Oh, you listen? Like, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Like you're asking me like what? Like most people don't do that.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
like
I grew up in a band, like doing band stuff too. So
mhm,
like I have to go like through malls, like handing out flyers. Hey, check
yeah.
out my band. Buy these tickets off, man. Like these people don't want to go. Like,
No, dude, they're gonna take it. They don't even look at it. They just throw it halfway
yeah,
down the mall. And it's like,
yeah,
well, thanks for taking it, I guess. I don't know.
yeah. I know, right?
So obviously with skateboarding, I'm guessing that's how you kind of got started in fingerboarding.
Yeah, definitely. Because like I at a young age, like I don't know what, like it just engraved in me to like be obsessed with skateboarding. Like just the first time I saw one, I was just like, whoa,
Mhm.
like that kid has a skateboard. A Ninja Turtle had that,
Yeah, yeah.
like that's so cool. And so like as I got older, like I started skateboarding in middle school. So I
Mhm.
think I was like nine, 9 or 10 years old. And at the same time, tech decks came out. like it was like simultaneously at the same time. So like I was so obsessed with skateboarding. I was like trying to watch everything I could and go out skating as much as I could. And then I'm like, whoa, I got a little bitty one now. It's like, holy crap, this is cool. Like I was played with it at school. And like I honestly never thought you could actually do a trick with it because like I was a little kid at the time.
Right.
Internet existed, but it wasn't a household thing really at the time. So like that kind of exposure wasn't around. So like it just stuck with me, the miniature stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it all started with skateboarding, obviously.
Yeah, of course. Like that's literally, and there's obviously the people who look at it from the toy aspect and they're not necessarily skateboarders, but it is something that they can just play with. And yeah, I was just gonna say, but like, and then you have the people who are passionate about it, and it's like it's not just a toy. All right.
A lot of people they consider it a fidget.
Yeah. Right.
So, but it's a very niche hobby. Like I don't look at it as a fidget or a toy.
Mm-hmm.
I just look at it as a form of expression, just like I do skateboarding. Like the argument, skateboarding is not a sport. It sure is something.
Yeah, it's definitely something.
It's a way of expression. It's
and even like sorry, go ahead.
No, you had.
I was gonna say even it's not a sport crowd. Like there's competition, there's rewards.
It's in the Olympics now, dude.
Yeah, like you can't sit here and argue it's not a sport anymore, and then you're gonna argue other things are a sport, and it's like, well, I don't see how that's a sport, but skateboarding's not. And I'm not gonna. Yeah, I'm over like. I don't see. Yeah, you're just shuffling. It's glorified sweeping. I don't even actually understand it, so I can't make fun of it proper.
It's a giant stone on ice. I don't know.
Yeah, but like you're gonna say that's a sport, and then skateboarding's not. But I also think so. How old are you?
I'm old.
You're old.
I'm in my late 30s now.
Okay, so I'm 30. So
okay.
I also think what it is because even when I was young, it was you dirty punks, like get out of the bank, because that's everybody goes to a bank to skate because they have the best lots and everything.
Oh yeah,
like
they got gaps, they got ledges, they got rails.
Always, and you're always getting kicked off the bank property. And it's like you guys are just disruptive. You're destroying property. It's like I'm not, but you don't have anywhere else for me to do this. So what do you want me to do?
Yeah, exactly.
And I think now people are getting better. Definitely more skate parks are popping up. Even where I am, we got an indoor, we got a few outdoors. So I think it's getting better, but for people my age and up, it's hard to see it as a sport because we're just a bunch of street kids out skateboarding and everything.
Yeah, I get you. And just growing up, it was like at least for me, it was a struggle to skateboard.
Mm-hmm.
Like just to get the money to get a skateboard and make that board last, and being able to find a way to get to the skate park and that kind of stuff. Like I'd always skate at the school by my house.
Yeah.
But like it was for me, it was a struggle. So like I it's hard for me to look at it like a sport because I never experienced it that way. Like I've done 2 competitions, but they were like makeshift competitions.
Right.
I mean? But I just always used it as an escape. So it's just it's different now.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Like I said, like 30 and up, it is hard to see it as a sport. And even like when you talk competition, a battle of the bands is a competition. Like I feel like skateboarding is actually closer to that feel, like that DIY, everybody get together, than like a basketball game competition. Like it's 2 different types.
See, I was always in the local part of the skate scene. I never got into the corporate side of it. And these days, I guess it's a lot easier to get onto the corporate side of skateboarding world. With the internet, social media, and stuff like that.
Makes sense.
You can almost instantly get sponsored because of social media exposure.
Yeah, you're no longer out there like hitting a gap and having your buddy
Yeah.
beneath it, like just trying to get that angle. You don't have to land it. I just need the angle of getting over
Get that
you.
JC Penney's
Yeah.
angle over the camera. Jump over me, bro.
Yeah, like
We all did that.
exactly. And outside of like, the physical aspect of it, let's just get into, so you design and you create these decks for people and you got your own merch and everything.
Mhm.
Before, was that always something that you like to do? Is that design, that creativity?
Well, yeah, kind of. Like I've like it's really weird because like in middle school, all the way through middle school and high school, like I always messed around with like programs on computers and
Mm,
like I'd always like keep the artwork and be like, look at this, I made it, so cool. But I never ever looked at it like a career choice. And so like even like through high school, like I was pushed to go to college, and I chose graphic design to go to college, but I never actually went to college
mm,
for graphic design. Things happen, so I never got the chance to go, and it was just always something I always just dabbled with, and like the more I tried to build some type of thing for myself, the more I would do graphic design or like just video editing, photography. Like always had like an interest in it because I'm like, oh, it's so cool. Like,
yeah.
but I never like I took those classes in high school, just not the college courses or anything like that. But it was just always this thing that I did. Um, I never like called myself that, but it was just something I always had in my pocket. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I have so many hobbies, like it's ridiculous. You would not be able to get me to explain to you how many things that I like to do. I
Yeah.
love to do stuff, and I just happen to be at a computer more than I anything else. So graphic design just kind of stuck with me more.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I get that. I mean, my friends are always making fun of me. Like, I just listed four in the beginning with, comedy, music, blah, blah, blah. And then this. So, like, as somebody who bounces around and enjoys different hobbies and whatnot, I completely get that 100%. And, so the process of putting together these decks, uh, do you do like the woodworking yourself? Like, how does that actually
I can
happen?
take you through a little show and tell.
Oh, here we
Actually, I
go.
brought I brought some stuff, so I can show you like the process of what it is and what it can
Yeah.
become. So like here we have a piece of veneer.
Okay.
It's 0.4 millimeters thick. That's the thickness that I like to use. And so with this piece of wood, you need to have you know, vertical, horizontal, vertical coinciding patterns to get the strength. And you cut them down to size to fit a mold. And I do have some molds, which a lot of people out there do what I do. They make their own molds, like with a 3D printer,
Right.
and a lot of people you can buy a mold. You don't have like if you can't make one yourself,
Right.
it is available to buy one. Because a lot of people that do make their own molds offer to sell their molds, but they essentially look like this. It's just a
Uh,
rectangle, and
okay.
you know, you just you use 5 layers of veneer, and you press it in there. Um, Everybody uses something different. Some people use just a vise. I use more than one mold, so I don't have more than one vise. So like you'll see like a contraption like this where
Oh
it's got
yeah, look at that.
C clamps and other types of various clamps. And I let them cure for about 2 to 3 days just to be sure that they solidify. And
Yeah.
after that, like I, when it comes to crafting them,
Mm-hmm.
um, a lot of people use a lot of different machinery. I'll saw the corners off, and then I'll take a Dremel and get the rest of the shape. And
Okay.
from that point on, I'll sand it by hand.
Okay.
A lot of people have they'll use a shaper. I forgot to grab a shaper, but a shaper is essentially like the 3D printed plastic. It's essentially just a the same shape as the skateboard or the fingerboard, and they'll have I don't know what they're actually called, but it's a certain type of rotary tool that has a spacer that
Okay.
you change the spacer to the size of the your shaper, and then it essentially cuts the deck for you. And then they'll do the same thing with a like a curved sander rotary tool.
Just okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was like the big thing I wanted to ask you about, because
yeah,
it just seems, I was like, I'm looking at, because you have your website, and I was just looking through everything, and I'm like, there's so many designs on here. And so I was like, what goes into putting that together? I didn't know if you like pre-buy a deck and then just
oh
slap your own
no,
graphic on it, or if
a
you,
lot of people do that, which
yeah.
I'm thinking about doing that for like I because there's a lot of events, and so like I handcraft my decks, and it's
Mm,
very time consuming. So when it comes to events, I've been thinking about like pre-buying pre-made decks and slapping my logo on there and stuff like that, just for a way of promotion.
right.
But like I'm only selling the handcrafted decks on my website.
Okay.
But what I've seen from my history of dealing with selling decks and watching other companies, a lot of the smaller companies handcraft them, and like there's I don't want to say any names or anything, but there are
Yeah, of
some
course.
companies out there that they order them in bulk, um, which is no big deal as long
Yeah,
as
no.
their bulk decks are premium quality and
Have
stuff like
quality,
that.
right, right.
Yeah,
And do you think that's, I mean, that probably comes with size too? Like, if you have, I mean, you'd have to talk like major corporation for something like this, but you have 50,000 orders go out. You're like, I'm not
yeah,
handcrafting 50,000 orders. I'm
exactly.
sorry.
Yeah. So like at this point in time, like I'm doing fine handcrafting my
Yeah,
decks. I'm busy every day.
right.
Um, but if I was getting like 20 orders a week, oh my gosh, I'd be
Yeah, that,
like,
yeah.
but you're gonna get yours in a month. Is that okay?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I'll still do it, but you're not gonna get that same turnaround
Yeah.
you're used to.
You're gonna get
You're
the same
used to.
quality. It's gonna take a little longer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I mean, from like a consumer standpoint, you want that, because like for somebody like you, like if you're supporting that business, you're like, take as long as you want, because it's sick that
Yeah.
you got this business now
I
and you
I
have these
always think
people.
about that Parks and Rec episode with Ron with the chairs. You know what I'm talking
I
about?
don't. What do we got?
Oh, there's an episode where Ron, the show, right?
Yeah,
Parks and
yeah,
Rec.
I'm familiar. Yep, yep.
Okay, Ron builds chairs and they're handcrafted, and like this rich person gets a hold of them and they're like, oh my gosh, these are the best chairs in the world. And like she throws like this huge party for him, and she's like, I've got this many orders for you, so great. And he's like, okay, I'll have them done in about 42 years or something
Yeah,
like that, like an extreme number. And
yeah.
she's like, what are you talking about? We're going to mass produce these. And he's like, I don't think you understand. You lose quality with mass production. I make these by hand.
It's literally the same exact thing.
Yeah, it's what's in my head all the time. Every time I make it, I'm just Ron from Parks and Rec. I'm just Ron. It's worth it.
Now, so before we started recording, we were talking about, the animated, like, staying anonymous, so that the brand is what comes to mind, not the face. Do you, um, we were talking about collaboration. Do you collab with a lot of your designs themselves, not the wood part, but the designs you stick on the boards, on the decks?
I've collabed with one design. I have this one. It's got brick on it. Cold Crew
Mm-hmm.
designed the way my logo looks on it, and I added a little to it. That's the most I've collabed. Other than that, like this design, obviously, I stole it.
Yeah, yeah,
I
right.
just, you can't like make a Mario thing without it looking like Mario,
Yeah,
unless it looks like,
exactly.
well, like I'm just inspired by things I see, and like I try to keep it as close to the original as I can, but changing it enough to where it's my design. Like
Mm.
like the Mario thing, like I keep myself anonymous, but I don't know if he looks familiar at all.
Yeah, right.
Like that's supposed to be me.
Yeah. Yeah, no. But it's good. I was just I was just super curious on like, do you do all the artwork yourself? So because with a lot of like t-shirt companies, for example, and bands, really anybody, they'll say like, who's got pre-made designs? I just need something where I can slap my name on it. Have you ever thought about doing anything like that, or do you just like that aspect of like, I like having my artwork on there?
I've thought about it, but I do like it being my artwork
Yeah.
because like I always worry about like what's it gonna do to the relationship, like what do they want, what do they need? I don't know. Like I've never had anybody like really offer any collaborative work either.
Okay.
So I've never really dealt with it yet. So the thoughts never really come across very much in my mind. I just when it comes to the designs, it's just what I've just been making at the time or what I've already made in the past. Um, I mean, I wouldn't put it past.
Yeah, right.
I would because I like for instance I've collabed. I've made artwork for other people like Cold Crew Fingerboards. I mentioned that earlier. Shout out, check him out on Instagram. But he makes fingerboards too, and he was talking about rebranding, and I'm like, hey man, I'll just make your logos for you. He's like, really? I'm like, yeah, for free. I don't care. Like I like doing this.
Yeah,
And
right.
like he was the one that gave me the motivation to talk to more people. So like I made it for him for free, and like that's the most. I've done stuff for other people. Just I've never had anybody make anything really for my stuff.
Makes sense.
I would
Makes
love
sense.
it though.
Yeah, absolutely makes sense. I was just I had an illustrator on not too long ago. And a lot of those guys, thank you. A lot of those guys do like freelance like stuff out on the outside, on the other side of things. Do you ever think about branching out from fingerboarding and doing like merch for people or anything? Or is this as like I just kind of like this community?
No, that would be great, honestly, because like when it comes to like making artwork and stuff like that, like that's what I love doing the most, is like helping other people get their ideas out. Because like with Cold Crew, he gave me a rough sketch, and like I already had the idea as soon as I looked at it. I'm like, boom, like I made it like in a couple days, and like because the way that like I work as a graphic designer is I don't create stuff out of nothing. I create stuff out of ideas, out of inspiration. So like you give me like two or three rough sketches, like I'll be able to figure out something. Like I can't think of any good examples off the top of my head, but like depending on what the company of your name is, I'm able to like figure out a way to market that as a way, because like if there's like a duck or a clock in there, like, oh, here's a good example. You ever see the Dollar Tree logo?
Yeah. Yep.
It's the number one with like a tree.
With the tree, yep.
Yeah, like that kind of stuff is like that's how my brain works, because I grew up looking at logos and commercials and advertisements my whole life. So like seeing the connection between words and pictures.
Okay, that makes sense.
Is like, yeah,
absolutely makes sense. And where would you say? I mean, obviously, it's got to be like digital arts, video games. You can tell by your logo. You have, I believe, it was a Link deck as well. Like you get a lot of inspiration from video games, 100%.
Yeah. Well, I grew up playing Nintendo. Yeah. Nintendo shaped my life, man. Like I was born in the 80s, and Mario was the thing, and it still is the thing. And I always had a Game Boy in my pocket, the big gray brick. That was my jam. I just Mario, Zelda, like the old school, like Kirby. Yep. So many different things, like Metroid. That's one of my biggest games growing up. But I just love video games.
Yeah, even when we were planning this meeting. You're like, oh, it's no different than like inviting somebody to a video game party.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
he gets it. I'm like, he gets it. We're good.
I mean, I still play video games to this day. Not very often, but like,
Right.
it's always been a part of my life, you know. It's always been another way to like, enjoy being around, you know.
Yeah, no, it's another. It's the
Hanging
same.
with friends and
It's
just
like those people that are, oh, you're playing a video game. It's like you're binging Netflix. Like I don't see much of a difference. And this is like community. Like I can
yeah,
invite my friends and we could do
yeah.
things. Right now, I'm what am I playing right now? We're doing a lot of like party games right now. Like,
Mhm.
are you familiar with the Jackbox games at all?
I don't think so.
So they're essentially, you don't need everybody in the same room. You can just join from like a website on your phone. So I'll start a party and we'll all talk to each other. But these guys don't need to see my screen. They could just be at home so we can get like my friends, their girlfriends. And then I streamed it the other day and I had like random people just like stream snipe and they came in and got the code. So you're just inviting like these strangers in and they get to see
Yeah.
your sense of humor because a lot of it's like it's similar to like a Cards Against Humanity type. And
Oh,
you're like introducing these strangers to my friends who are all psychopaths. I'm like,
that's pretty cool.
yeah, I'm like, look, man, you can hang out with us, but just know you're probably gonna hear some things. He's like, you're not gonna say the N-word, right? And I'm like, we're not gonna do that. You're good. I'm like, you're fine with that. He's like, all right, cool. I'll hang out. I'm like, all right, good.
See now, I play the game DayZ, and that's the opposite.
Yeah, Daisy's definitely
You
the
gotta mute.
opposite.
You gotta mute everybody if you want to play that
Yeah,
game online. Oh
yeah,
my goodness.
100%. This is like it's all words and it's typing mostly. You don't really have to
Oh,
hear these
cool.
guys talk. So they might type something you don't want to see, and then that's when you're just like, all right, I gotta kick you. We're
Yeah.
not saying that here. Like that's enough. What else you playing? Anything good? Daisy?
DayZ, Cyberpunk. That's like my
Yeah.
biggest like obsession right now with video games. Like I beat it like 20 times now. I'm waiting for Phantom Liberty to come out, the new DLC, the new update. Um, I don't when it first came out, I didn't know anything about the game, like
Yeah.
nothing about it, and like there's all this hype surrounding it, and I'm like, I don't care. I'm like, blah, blah, blah. And then the game came out, and then everyone's like, oh, the game sucks. That's
Yep.
stupid.
Yep.
And I'm looking at the footage. I'm like, I mean, there's just glitches, launch glitches, and stuff like that. It can't be that
Right.
bad.
Right.
Launch glitches are fun, anyways. So like, I bought the game and like I play it, and I got it the May after it came out. So it came
Okay.
out, I think, in like November,
I think it was. Yeah. I think it was fall.
around then.
Yeah.
And so I got it the May after it came out. And at that point in time, there was an update that at least made the game playable. And so I wasn't experiencing any of the launches, glitches, or anything like that. I
Mm.
was experiencing some story breaking glitches like that. But for the most part, the game was working. I was enthralled with the game, and I learned it had a tabletop game, and then I'm not 100% sure, but I think it has a ties in with another tabletop game that my brother and I played as a kid
Hmm.
called Rifts.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure, so don't quote me on that, but they're very similar games if they're not. It's
All right.
like, only the Rifts game is more of like there's monsters and vampires and ghouls and that. And I don't think they have anything like that in Cyberpunk.
I don't believe so. So it's funny because I got it. I pre-ordered it because I was one of those people who was, involved in the hype because they pushed it like
Yeah.
2 years, and I'm like,
Oh yeah.
son of a. And then they
No,
finally
not
gave a
2 years. It was
date.
like 12 years.
Yeah,
It's
it's
been in the works for like ever.
it was literally like I was like, this is so insane. I think I was in middle school, high school, and I was like, all right, it's
Yeah.
here. I have a date. It's on the PlayStation. I can pre-order it. So I pre-ordered it, and then I didn't even mind just like the launch bugs because I'm like, that's fine. That's every game has that. But then it got to be like, if it was November, it was like February, and it was like there's still bugs. So I put it down and have it played. I think now what I'll have to do is install it, fully update it, because now I mean we're well in now. I should be able to get right through a story and be
Yeah.
fine.
I would wait until the new update comes out
Yeah.
because it's apparently going to be a brand new game thing. So
Oh jeez. I don't know if I have
yeah.
time for a brand new game.
You're telling me, man.
I
I'm
always
definitely gonna have to play it again.
yeah, exactly. I do this thing though where like I'll grab a game and I'll start it and then I just put it down. I'm so bad with finishing games, and it's mostly because when I'm on, it's like when I'm on, that's when my friends are on. So they're like, how about you play this with me? And I'm like, how about I do that? That's a good idea.
Yes, the multiplayer always distracts me from what I'm really looking to play, because like the same thing happened to me with Grand Theft Auto. Like when Grand Theft Auto 5 first came out, I was like, oh cool, I can't wait to play this game. And I get on, I get an invite from a friend. I'm like, what? You can join friends in this?
Yeah, it's a whole new ball game.
I spent 4 years playing it online with my friends. I'm like, wait, there's a story mode.
It's insane.
I play that.
That's
so
why.
Go ahead. Sorry, I played the story. I played the online for so long before I even finished.
Yep.
The online, I only did the prelogue up until like 4 years. It's kind of sad.
Yeah, well, they force you. They're like, well, you at least got to do this before you get online. And then you're like, you start it back up, and you're like, oh yeah, I haven't touched this. Like, I've done nothing.
It's like, wow, this is actually really good.
Yeah, that's why, like Siege, Rainbow Six Siege, there is no campaign, so I don't have to worry about that. I'm like, all right, I can just pop it in, and I know that's what I'm gonna play, and we're good.
Yeah, I did get sucked into the new Modern Warfare. I bought the game, and my friends only played the free part.
Yep.
So I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah, God, glad you guys are only playing Warzone. Thanks, guys.
No, they're playing the what is the other one? DMZ, that part.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Not even the fun part.
Yep. Nothing. Just a waste.
Yep.
So you know, we talked about you have a rider. You sponsor these guys.
By the way, speaking of sponsors,
look at that.
Timed perfectly.
I'm glad that all got there. I mean, I didn't I just did a little bit of a layer of things, but I was like, it should be fine. There's a box, there's layers. So this is for those that don't know, should have probably did this earlier. This is who won the giveaway. We did the did the little dummy sampler, some stickers, and that's such a weird thing to me, is like shipping things out. And like I have stickers going to Australia, and it's like people are like, how do you feel? And I'm like I'm losing money. Like, do you know how international shipping works? Like, these are free stickers. This guy just robbed me. Like, it's cool they're going to Australia, but like
it's like $25.
Yeah, dude. Like,
oh man,
here's your 7 stickers. Thanks for listening.
Yep. No, I get you for sure. Because like I've shipped to Canada, and the first time I shipped, I was expecting $15. The second time I shipped, it was like 25. I'm like, whoa, that's half the order. I was not expecting that. But like I got used to the shipping part so quick. I was so nervous the first time, because I'm like, and like there's like, okay, this match, yep, there's liquid, blah 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 blah. No. Then they send it off, and
like, literally.
Yeah.
It's I don't know why it's such like a weird thing at first. It's like when you start a new job. Like,
oh yeah, it's the same thing. It's like in your first time.
Like, like why am I nervous? I'm just shipping something.
What do I do with my hands? It's just like that, you know.
Literally. But so like for me, my old podcast before this, I sponsored an MMA fighter. And it was weird because like you almost felt like it was just as cool to be able to sponsor somebody as it is to be sponsored.
Yeah.
Like, do you get that same feeling of like that fulfillment where it's like, oh, this is one of my guys? Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're on my decks.
I have 4 riders right now, and one of them is, I'm announcing them soon, but they've already like been pre-announced, but they're gonna give a proper announcement soon. But like I've got 4 riders, and it's crazy because I'm like these guys ride for my company. Like like and like they're cool, they're good, they're great people. They communicate, you know, and each one of them are extremely unique. And like I feel like I'm like I feel like I'm the lucky one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm sure because like I grew up skateboarding. Like I was always like, I'm gonna be pro someday. I'm gonna get sponsored by Zero, and it's
Yeah.
really cool. With your friend Jamie Thomas. So I know what it would like. It probably feels amazing to be sponsored, but I feel like the lucky one. You know.
Yeah. No, not
100%.
100%.
They trust me. You know.
Right. Yeah. Like, this guy's gonna get me this stuff that he says he's gonna get me. He's gonna promote what he says he's gonna promote. So like, you do have like, and obviously for a podcast it's different. Like, I don't really have anything physical that I'm giving out, but for him specifically, it was like, here's some money. Just all I'm asking is you slap the logo on your shorts or shirt, whatever you're gonna do. So like, even that was like, oh, okay. So now my logo, and this was, like I said, it's the old one. I had Dangerously Average Dudes with my buddy Ray. But it was still like cool to be like, oh, our logo's going on our buddy's shirt who's going out to fight in a cage. Like, it was good. It was cool.
That's still pretty cool. I mean, it may not seem like you're doing much, but people are seeing it. It's getting out there.
That's what and that's really what it was about. And
yeah.
And plus I know for a fact that it shouldn't have cost them the amount that we gave him. It was just, it's helping him pay training fees or food, whatever it might be. So I was still helping out a buddy of mine too, which was cool.
Yeah.
For your merch, this is more, it could be a question I asked off air, but we're here, so I'm going to ask. Do you do
cut this out?
I need an editor. Do you do print on demand, or are you somebody that has boxes all over the house?
Oh no, it's a print on demand website. So like the way it works is I think the cut is like it's roughly like 40-60. Like I get 40. Like they make they don't make the clothing, except for they do have their own premium clothing, which I'm assuming they have a factory that makes it for them. But they also use, I think, Gildan, the typical clothing that people print on.
Yeah.
So the way it works is like I make the artwork and I build the site on their site, and so they do all the hard work, and everybody gets the merchandise they want. And it's, in my eyes, it's pretty fair. Like if I were to like kind of judge like the pricing, like like a t-shirt's like $20, like I'll make $4 to $6 off of the t-shirt, and they make the rest.
That's not bad.
They're doing all the work,
right?
And they're helping me get a quality product out there. I would love to do the merch myself, but I got wood all over the place.
Yeah.
I already got my place full of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's why I was wondering, because like I said, this was either high school or right after high school, I'd got into apparel, and print on demand wasn't really popular. Like I feel like over the past couple of years with like Etsy and Shopify, like it's become a little bit better. But then I was just like, okay, people seem like they like this. I think if I just print 10 of each size, I'll be good to go. And then you realize 5 people liked it, and they all wear mediums. So have fun with the rest of these boxes. You're like, oh shit.
Yeah, I get you. It's hard to pre-plan for stuff like that, and like with this print on demand stuff, it makes it so much easier. That's kind of like how my fingerboard company is. Like it's my fingerboard company's print on demand.
Yeah, realistically,
printing my wood. Like, you want a board? Order it. I make it.
There you go.
Yeah, because like with the whole back to the whole buying in bulk, and because like you'd have to pick like 32 millimeter, 34, and depending on even what shape of the deck. Like some people want like a more boxy shape, and like I can't even really do that with my stuff, because like with my boxy shape, it's not like other companies' boxy shape. So I'd be doing myself a disservice by ordering a boxy shape from a different company. But
makes sense.
It's like that. Like I could order a bunch of 34s, but people want 32s, or maybe even 29s.
So at that point, you're just going to be hanging on to things that realistically you may not ever use.
Yeah, I used to make everything like right away, Like that was the first thing I did. The only thing I'm doing now that I make right away is when I make a new graphic, I'll make a board for that graphic right away.
Okay.
And I'll use that graphic specifically for like photo shoots and stuff like that. And if somebody orders that size, I'll ship it off right away. But for the most part, I don't pre-make any other boards because I don't want to really have too much stuff that isn't selling. And like I'll right now I have been making I have some here like exotic wood stuff. So this is something that I would take with me to like an event or something like that. So like I've been making like exotic woods just to showcase like my craftsmanship and what I've been working on. And if somebody does, if they are interested in it, I'll sell it then. But for the most part, I've been making the exotic woods as a way to show you what I'm doing, what I can do, what kind of woods I have. Um, a constant showcase. But yeah.
Makes sense. I mean, the last thing anybody, even just from like big corporation, like I work in a warehouse, the last thing you want to do is be sitting on inventory.
Exactly.
Like that's the most annoying thing to deal with.
Sitting on inventory.
Yeah.
I told you I used to make everything right away.
You learn. That's literally all it is. You live and learn.
Yep.
Oh man. So we are a little under an hour. What do you got for plugs? I know, I follow you. I'm aware of your stores and everything else. Where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Loco Fingerboards. Also on Reddit, Loco Fingerboards. I'm not too active on there. It's hard to be active on everything.
Yeah.
Also, I've been posting constantly lately on YouTube as well. So like when it comes to these local challenges, I'll do a compilation video of those challenges, everybody's entries, and I'll post it on my Loco Fingerboards YouTube channel at the end of the day, or not the end of the day, at the end of the challenge. So
yeah.
And my website, Loco Fingerboards, Big Cartel, and my merch, locofingerboards.spreadshirt.com.
All right.
Or is it? No, it's shop.spreadshirt/Loco Fingerboards.
Okay. Yeah. And I'll make sure, like I said, I follow you on all these. So I'll make sure in the description, wherever you're watching, YouTube, Spotify. I actually suggest if you're on audio, I'll probably suggest that people go video just because of the things you've shown. Usually I push pretty hard on the on Spotify and whatnot, but just because of the work and the craftsmanship and everything that you've shown on camera, I'll probably push YouTube pretty hard for this episode. But all the stuff will be in the description. This is something I wanted to bring up. For what you do, do you do TikTok at all?
No, I think I'm too old for TikTok.
You think so? Well, as long as you don't show your face, you're good. just don't age yourself.
Well, I mean, it's already overwhelming with Instagram and YouTube.
It definitely is.
Making it. There's so much stuff to do, and TikTok would be just another learning curve.
Yeah.
I've thought about it, but I don't know. It's just
something for the future, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. If like later on down the line, if I can hire somebody to do it for me,
that would be the move.
Yeah, because there's a lot of stuff that I would love to have somebody take over for me. Like like for right now, my wife cuts the stickers that I put in the thing. That's super helpful because if I was cutting stickers, I'd only be cutting stickers.
Yeah, right. It is good to have like that support. I mean, my wife, she leaves me this house. She's like, I don't want to listen to this. I'll listen to it when it comes out. It's like, I'll listen to this when this comes out. You got the house, you're good. But like just having that support definitely helps. But man, this was a lot of fun. Everything will be in the description. Definitely support Loco. You guys you're super supportive in general. I meant to, bring that up. You're like,
I try to be. I mean, there's so many people out there, and I feel like they need, push, put like anybody that talks to me, I'll, they
Yeah.
can push some kind of support.
Yeah. So like supporting
You know.
somebody like you who's openly supportive, like you can always tell, people might be like, oh, your podcast is great, but you don't know if they're listening. People like you and a lot of people that I've had on, really, you guys do a good
Yeah,
job because
I
you even
comment on
tell
your
like
I
you,
listen to
yeah,
your podcast. Like,
yeah,
I want
you'll
to talk
like
about
tell
this.
me,
I want to
you'll
talk
tell
about your
me.
stand up, man.
Oh man.
I love stand up, man. That's why I
Yeah,
want to talk. Like, yeah, I'm a huge comedy fan, dude.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll make sure. So, I've shared my link before to you. Um, this is what I mean with like, oh, your podcast. Now it's like, oh, I've heard your stand up. It's like, damn it. No, I am doing a show in September. I'm gonna try to record it. If it comes out well enough where you can hear everything, I'll upload it right to the podcast channel. I'll send it to you directly.
Heck yeah.
But like you could tell on that note, like you could tell people that listen because you'll tell me like parts of the podcast, like you'll recite it back. Like you're like, oh, I want to hear that stand up. It's like, well, I didn't talk to that till middle of the episode. So like,
Yeah.
I love
I listened
supporting.
to the whole thing.
Yeah, I love supporting guys who are like just super supportive like that, and you're one of those. So definitely check him out. Link in the description. All your links. I'll put your store, where to find you.
Thank you.
Now hiring a social media manager for TikTok because I think it'll blow up.
Yeah, I need a TikTok guy.
Yeah, the
Or
problem
girl,
is,
doesn't matter.
yeah, the problem is you'll be working closely with like a 14-year-old. So just
Oh,
it's you gotta
I don't
keep up
know.
on
That's not
you gotta keep up on
not a good
trends.
idea.
This was a lot of fun, man. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate
Dude,
it.
thanks for having me, man. I'm glad to be a part of this, man.
Yeah, definitely. We'll do it again. I'm like I said, I'd say to
Definitely,
everybody, and I
man.
mean it. Like I'll have anybody on twice. It's just making it work.
I'll be
That's all.
here.
All right, man. Have a good night.
Yeah, you too.
All right, bye,
Peace.
everybody.